You used to be able to read the back of a pill bottle without thinking about it. Now you hold it under the kitchen light, tilt it, give up, and ask someone else what it says. You remember the exact year it started. What you don't know is that it didn't have to. You hold the menu farther away every time you go out to dinner until your arm can't reach any farther and you just order what your husband orders. You missed a step on the porch last Tuesday and caught yourself on the railing and you didn't tell anyone. You squint at your phone in the grocery store, trying to see whether the message is from your son or your daughter, and you can't quite tell. And the worst part isn't the squinting. The worst part is what's already started happening underneath in a place your eye doctor has never once looked. And the things you loved, you've put them down one by one. The needlework sits in the basket where you left it 18 months ago. The library books go back unread. The garden has weeds you can't see, and your husband pulled them last Saturday without saying a word about it. He stopped saying a lot of things. You've stopped doing a lot of things. And every one of those small surrenders is a signal your body has been sending you in a language nobody at the eye clinic ever bothered to learn how to read. Every eye doctor you've been to has confirmed it. It's age. It's genetics. It's just what happens. Here's a stronger prescription. See you in 12 months. That's what they tell you. That's not what they tell each other. In my community, we have never set foot in an eye doctor's office. Not once. Not in 400 years. Our elders read the smallest print in the family Bible by candlelight at 85 years old. And they don't wear glasses. They never have. Outsiders who visit always ask the same question, and they always whisper it the same way. What is it that you people know? I'm about to tell you, and it's going to sound impossibly small. What our grandmothers kept in a jar by the window costs less than a cup of coffee. The eye doctors have known about it for 60 years. There's no patent on it, no prescription, no way to bill your insurance for it next month. So somewhere along the way, they stopped writing it down. And you've been buying stronger glasses ever since. I want to tell you what's really happening inside your eyes, because the story you've been given is not the story your body has been living. Here is what I have come to understand after 65 years of watching eyes in my community. The eye is not a camera. The eye is a garden. Every doctor you've seen has been treating it like a broken camera. Stronger lens, stronger prescription. Replace the part. But you don't fix a garden with a stronger lens. You fix it the way my grandmother fixed hers. 3 things, in a specific order. Miss any one of them and the cloud stays. Do all 3 and the cloud lifts. I'm going to walk you through everyone. When you were younger, your eyes did all of this on their own. The tiny gates around the eye opened and closed the way they were supposed to. The fluid inside the eye stayed clear, like clean spring water. The lens, that little window at the front, stayed soft and bendy, the way a young leaf bends in the breeze. You could read a road sign at 100 feet and a recipe at 6 inches and never think about it. But over the years, something quiet has been happening. The water that bathes your eye has been getting thicker. The gates have been getting sticky. The little particles that float through your blood every day, the sugars and the proteins from what you eat, have been settling on the lens like dust settling on a window pane that nobody wipes. A little each year, you never noticed. Until one morning you couldn't read the pill bottle. The doctors call this many different names. They have a name for the clouded lens. They have a name for the dry surface. They have a name for the failing focus. And for each name, they have a different drop, a different lens, a different appointment, a different copay. You've spent thousands. You've sat in waiting rooms for hours. Not one of them has touched the actual problem. Because underneath all those names is one simple thing they've never told you. This is why nothing you've tried has helped. The drops moisten the very top for an hour. The glasses help you see around the cloud, but do nothing to clear it. The vitamins go through your stomach and out the other end before they ever reach your eyes. Nobody is treating the water. Nobody is wiping the window. And here is what I will tell you only once, and I will tell you gently because that is how my grandmother told me. Every year that the window goes unwiped, the cloud settles a little deeper into the lens. I have watched this in eyes for 65 years. The body at 68 will still clear itself if you give it what it needs. The body at 78 has a harder time. The body at 83 is sometimes too far down the road to walk all the way back. This is not the kind of thing that announces itself. It sits, it waits, and then one morning you cannot find your way to the kitchen. Let me tell you about a woman who came to me 3 summers ago because she lived exactly what you are living. Her name is Linda. She was 71 years old from a small town outside of Harrisburg. She used to be a 3rd-grade teacher. She had taught reading for 40 years, and now she couldn't read her own grocery list. She wore those big sunglasses over her regular glasses, the kind they give you after a procedure, because everything was too bright and too blurry at the same time. She had been to 4 different eye doctors. She had the drops. She had the supplements with the long words on the label. The last doctor had patted her hand and said, "Sweetheart, there's nothing more we can do. We'll just wait until the cataracts are ripe enough to cut." She said that word back to me in my kitchen, ripe. Like she was a tomato. She told me she had stopped reading bedtime stories to her grandchildren because she couldn't see the words, and the little one had asked her why she didn't love books anymore. She cried at my table. She said, "I taught 40 years of children how to read, and now I can't read to my own grandbaby." That was the woman I sat down with on the porch in July. I asked her what she did in the evening before bed. She said she watched the news. I told her we would change that. I told her what her grandmother and her grandmother's grandmother had done, the thing her people had once known and forgotten. 3 weeks later, the phone rang on a Saturday morning. It was Linda. She was crying so hard I couldn't understand her for the first 30 seconds. When she could finally speak, she said she had been at the kitchen table that morning with her coffee, and she had reached for her reading glasses the way she'd reached for them every day for 11 years, and they weren't there. So she picked up the newspaper anyway, and she read the whole front page, every word. She said she sat there for an hour just reading, because she was afraid if she stood up, it would go away. 11 years, gone in 21 days. That was the first call. 6 months later, she sent me a card. She had gone back to her garden. She wrote the card in her own hand in small, even letters, and she signed her name at the bottom. Now I am going to give you the same thing I gave Linda. You can do it tonight with what is already in your kitchen. You will need raw honey, not the kind in the plastic bear from the supermarket. That kind has been heated until every healing compound inside it is dead. You want raw, unfiltered honey, the kind that has a little cloudiness to it and sometimes a piece of honeycomb sitting at the bottom of the jar. There's a reason for that cloudiness, and it's the same reason this works. The living enzymes inside raw honey are what do the wiping. A small jar costs about $2 at a farmer's market or a health food store. 1 jar will last you 4 months. $2, 4 months of clearer eyes. Try finding that ratio anywhere else on the planet. You will need clean water that has been boiled and cooled. Not tap water, not bottled water from the store. Boiled and cooled, the way our grandmothers always did it. About 4 tablespoons. You will need a small, clean glass jar with a lid. The kind a baby food comes in is perfect. Wash it in hot water. Let it dry on a clean towel. Here is what you do. Put 1 teaspoon of the raw honey into the jar. Pour the 4 tablespoons of cooled boiled water over the honey. Put the lid on. Shake it gently until the honey has melted into the water. The mixture should look like very pale tea. That is it. That is the whole thing. You will use this twice a day. Once in the morning when you wake up and once at night before you go to sleep. You take a clean cotton pad or a clean square of soft cloth. You dip it in the honey water. You close your eye and you lay the damp cloth over the closed eyelid. You leave it there for 10 minutes. That is all. You do nothing else. You sit in your chair or you lie on your bed and you let it rest there. The honey is doing 3 things at once while you sit. It is drawing the thickness out of the fluid behind the eyelid, the way a poultice draws a splinter out of a finger, slowly, steadily, without forcing anything. It is feeding the soft tissue around the eye. Raw honey carries dozens of healing compounds. Our grandmothers knew about every one of them, long before any laboratory ever opened its doors. And it is gently breaking down the little proteins that have settled on the lens. the ones that turned your clear window into a foggy one. Night after night, the way water shapes a stone. You will not feel it working, but it will be working. You keep the jar in the refrigerator between uses. You make a fresh one every 4 days. That is it. There is nothing else to buy. There is no machine. There is no appointment. Remember what I told you at the beginning, that the eye doctors have known about honey and the eye for 60 years. I want you to know I'm not making that up. The first medical papers on honey and the eye were written in the 1960s. There are more than 40 of them now, in journals you've never heard of, in languages your doctor doesn't read. Honey has been used for cataracts and dry eye in clinics in Egypt, in India, in parts of Europe for decades. It has never been used here, not because it doesn't work, but because there is no money in a $2 jar. The companies that pay for the studies don't fund research on things that grow in a hive, so nobody studies it, and nobody tells you. The people who have done this tell me the same things over and over. They tell me the morning came when they reached for their glasses on the nightstand and realized they had walked to the kitchen without them. They tell me the headlights at night stopped bursting into stars. They tell me they read a whole letter from their granddaughter in one sitting, and they did not need to set it down halfway through. You do this tonight. Tomorrow morning you do it again. Now what I just gave you is real. It will quiet the thickness in your eyes within weeks if you stay with it. For many of you, that is enough. Take it and go with my blessing. But if you have ever wondered why your eyes started clouding in the first place, sit with me for 2 more minutes. This is what I tell the people who come and sit across from me at my kitchen table. What I have noticed over the years is this. The eyes are not where the trouble starts. The eyes are where the trouble shows. The real trouble starts much lower, in a place no eye doctor has ever looked, and no eye doctor was ever trained to look. I know that sounds strange. I thought it was strange too the first time my grandmother told me. But every healer in my community for 400 years has known the same thing, and modern science is finally catching up to it in the last 10 years. The trouble starts in the gut. The fluid that bathes your eyes is made from the same blood that flows through every other part of your body. If that blood is carrying a low, steady kind of inflammation day after day, year after year, that inflammation settles wherever the body has the smallest, most delicate parts. The eyes are the most delicate. They cloud first. And where does that inflammation come from? It comes from a gut that has been quietly starving for 60 years. The good bacteria that used to live in your grandmother's stomach, the ones that kept the fire low, have been missing from most American kitchens for 2 generations now. Without them, the gut leaks little bits of inflammation into the blood every day. The blood carries it to the eyes. The eyes cloud. The gut needs 3 things to settle this down. It needs good living bacteria to take their place in the lining again. It needs the fiber those bacteria eat to stay alive. And it needs the healing compounds those bacteria make once they have been fed. When the gut gets all 3, the inflammation in the blood quiets. When the blood quiets, the eyes begin to clear from the inside, and the honey from the outside finishes the work. In my community, we have used one drink for as long as anyone can remember, and it carries all 3 of those things at once. It is called kombucha. The people I send home with the honey and who also drink the kombucha each day are the ones who write me cards 6 months later. They are the ones who get the longest, deepest healing, not just the eyes clearing, the whole body settling. I make my own kombucha at home because I have the time and the knowledge. But for everyone watching online who can't brew their own, I give BoochBod Kombucha Gummies. The link is in the description, or you can search BoochBod Kombucha Gummies on Amazon. Now think back to Linda, the teacher from outside Harrisburg, the woman who hadn't read her own grocery list in years. She is 74 now. She reads the newspaper on her porch every morning. She is back in her garden, pulling her own weeds, picking her own tomatoes off the vine, and she reads bedtime stories to that grandbaby again. Every Sunday, the little one picks the book. That same road is open to you. The same one. There is nothing in your eyes that is too far gone, no matter what the doctor told you last Tuesday. The body at 70 and 75 and 80 still knows how to do this work. It has been waiting all these years to be given what it needs. So tonight, after this video, mix the honey in the water. Sit in your chair for 10 minutes with the cloth over your eyes. And tomorrow morning, do it again. If this has helped you, subscribe to this channel and share it with someone you love who has been quietly going blurry. Leave me a comment and tell me what you saw and what you've put down that you'd like to pick back up. I read every single comment on this channel. Until next time.